For the people who are celebrating folks losing their SNAP benefits, y'all are weird. There's so many people out here talking about, oh, now you gotta work for it, accountability. Y'all do realize that most SNAP recipients work, right? They just don't make enough money to cover rent, bills, and food. It's literally helping to keep working families afloat. Someone even posted, let them eat cake. As in the people who won't receive their benefits. You know that quote that was supposedly made by Marie Antoinette? Well, you do remember what happened after she supposedly said that, right? She was beheaded, and the French Revolution ensued. So let me give you some statistics. 41.7 million people receive SNAP benefits in the United States. That's about 12% of the population. You mean to tell me all those people are lazy and mooching off the system? And even though that number seems large, it accounts for less than 2% of federal spending. Oh, and here's a fun fact. For every dollar that is funded to people through SNAP, it helps push in $1.50 to $1.80 into the local economy. So it's more like a stimulus than welfare. And that's not just helping SNAP recipients. If someone is more concerned about poor people receiving help to eat than they are about billionaires receiving unfair tax cuts, the problem isn't economics, it's empathy.
Can we just talk about SNAP benefits just for a minute? I'm going to stop the music just to talk about this because I think this is a very important topic. So to anyone out here that is laughing or joking about people losing their SNAP benefits next month, shame on you. Like, shame on you, because you are one paycheck away from being on snaps. I'm going to tell you. Try to get a job when you lose your job. You hear Amazon's laying off like 14,000 corporate jobs along with all these other big companies. Guess where you're going to be going? You're going to be going to look for SNAP benefits, because I can guarantee you most of y'all are one paycheck away from being in the SNAP benefits line. So I would tread lightly on joking about people losing their SNAP benefits. These people, a lot of them work. And the fact that people are like, oh, but they still SNAP benefits. Okay, they still in $180 like a month, really? You're worried about them like, oh, they getting over on the system. The system's been getting over on them for decades. Like minimum wage, try living on minimum wage. Try it. I dare you. With the housing costs, the food costs, car insurance, cable, phone. Are you serious? You think you could live off a minimum wage in America right now? Healthcare? Are you kidding me? So to anyone out here that is laughing about people losing their SNAP benefits, just know that karma will not be good to you. Karma will remember that you laughed. And when you get ready to try to get in that line for those SNAP benefits, I bet you're going to get denied because you're laughing at people that are going to go hungry next month. And remember, it's a lot of disabled people on SNAPs. It's a lot of seniors. It's a lot of children. Like, are you laughing that they're not going to be able to eat for Thanksgiving, for the month of November, for December, and God knows how long? Because we know the government shutdown could last longer because we know they're not trying to open it. That's obvious. So, and just on another note, just so you understand, like, there's a lot of people that use SNAP benefits. And when I was growing up, my mother was a single parent with 2 small kids. She worked 2 jobs, two freaking jobs, and couldn't afford stuff. And that's back then. That's when you didn't even have cable and have to pay for TV and pay for water, pay for basic stuff. You didn't have cell phones, and she had to get on food stamps. So let me just be clear about this to anyone out here laughing and teasing people that are on snaps that are not going to get their money next month. Shame on you, because there's a lot of people that need it, that work hard and still cannot afford stuff. And things are way more expensive now than when I was growing up. So my mother needed it, okay, for a while. Like, are you kidding me? So anyway, I just had to get on here and say that because I've been reading some of your comments, and shame on you. I hope karma comes for you really strong, because when people need help, they should be able to get help from the richest country in the world. Like, really? Are we really the richest country? Because it sure don't feel like it. It feels like if people need to be on snaps in the first place, something is wrong. It feels like if other countries get our money every freaking year, billions of dollars, but they can't give us affordable health care, something is wrong. And this is not a Democratic or Republican issue. This is a everybody issue. Everybody is one page. 95% of Americans are in debt right now. They said 95% of Americans are trillions of dollars in debt. One check away from lose. Look at the traffic controllers. They got to drive Uber now because they're not getting paid. And that was only 1 month. That was only one freaking month. So everybody is 1 month away from being in the SNAP benefit line. So stop it. Y'all stop it. What has happened to humanity? Y'all are cold and evil. And karma is not going to favor you. I'm just telling you that. But anyway, sorry this video is so long. I talk too damn much. Have a good night.
To the men on social media laughing at the women who may lose their SNAP benefits to feed them and their children in that household, do you not understand the ditch you think you're digging for them? You're digging a deeper one for yourself, because all you're doing is showing the world how much of a loser you are, that you have to wait for someone to be desperate to want to pay you some attention. You want someone to desperately need you to come stay with you and be in a relationship with you. You are a loser. I hope you understand that, right? And I'm going to be honest. I really feel like y'all want these women's kids. Because y'all don't like children like that unless it's something to fulfill your pleasurable needs. Y'all don't like kids. Y'all don't like kids at all. And you sit up here talking about like, oh, ha, 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 y'all going to have to come. Now y'all going to need a man. First of all, it's not only women receiving benefits. It's your fellow men. There's men. I mean, men got to eat too. They got to eat too. Okay. So you laughing at them too. You laughing at everybody. There's elderly, there's disabled, there's children, there's women, there's so many people. But all y'all are focused on is the women losing their benefits. Baby, I will starve before I go date an incel. I will go and forage and hunt and fish and do all the things before I sit up there and be with an incel. Well, I also beat men too. You know, my daddy, he ain't raised no fool, he ain't raised no punk. But you know, that's beside the point. But I want you to understand, you are a loser.
You know, everybody's talking about SNAP and one lady calling us losers and all this other stuff. My question is, how do we get over 40 million people on SNAP? That's incredible. Somebody help me out with that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. There's also, I believe it's some other kind of like, which shows your appreciation for the video. If you could click on that, it would help me out a lot. So please, thank you. And let's get to it. So as you know, November 1st, people are going to lose their SNAP benefits because of this government shutdown, which, let's be clear, is caused by Democrats because they want to add, it was called like pork. So they want to add pork to keep the government going. And it's with some crazy stuff. And Republicans are saying, no, let's do a clean resolution, which Democrats always want that. And now that the tables are turned, they don't want to do it. And so this is why the government is shut down for now. And what bothers me is that over 40 million Americans are currently enrolled in SNAP. And so, let's break it down. So as far as white people, 35.4%, blacks are 25.7%, and Hispanics are 15.6%. Now, even though whites make up are most enrolled in SNAP, percentage-wise, if you look at blacks in America, 13% population, but we are at 25% in SNAP programs compared to whites who I think 50 something percent in population, but 35% in SNAP. And Hispanics are 19-20% in population, but 15% on SNAP. So that's not good. And it shows that blacks are more on SNAP programs than any other race, even though whites, if you look at it by numbers, by percentage of how many whites are on SNAP, 35% of whites, which makes them the most, but percentage wise with the population, blacks would leave because we're only 13% in population. So let's break it down, okay? Why this is a bad idea. And I've got some notes here so that we can understand this more. Economic fragility. So SNAP's ballooning enrollment signals that tens of millions of Americans say that they cannot afford food without government aid. And so this is bad because this is creating some form of dependency on the government. Okay. This need to have the government take care of us is a huge problem, if you ask me. Okay. And this is what I said, dependency versus recovery. So it was originally designed as temporary support. SNAP now functions as a long-term lifeline for many. This was bad because it was short-term, so the government wouldn't spend so much. But now that the government continues paying for people and they're just sitting at home, I mean, I've heard some crazy things like, how am I gonna take care of my 5 children? How am I gonna take them out for their birthday? Like you have people that actually go out and work, and they have to really figure these things out. And because the government is stopping your money flow, now all of a sudden you want to know how you're gonna eat, but you didn't think of that with people that actually go out there, pay their taxes so that you can get SNAP. Let that sink in for a minute. Budget strain. So SNAP costs the federal government over $100 billion annually. That is a lot. $100 billion annually. And mind you, the government does this because they get the money from taxpayers. So when we pay our taxes, that money, which I'm not sure what the percentage is of the government spending, but regardless of the fact, that money that they take from taxpayers, then they turn around and give it to people. And that's what I think bothers a lot of people. Think about it. You have people that have to pay for medical, and they have to pay for their premiums. You know, it's taken out of their paycheck, or they got to go into some type of assistance and where they have to pay just so that they can get medical coverage. And then you have somebody who just walks in, doesn't pay a dime, and gets full treatment while you're struggling, because now not only do you have to pay a premium, you have to pay that 20%. So it's a scam. And so when I see people on SNAP, don't get me wrong, I want to see children eat. I don't want to see anybody hungry. But at the same time, you know, we live in a society where we can grow. We can grow from the bottom up. And when people are just sitting at home allowing the government to take care of them, I find that to be a problem. Okay. Now, cultural implications. When reliance becomes normalized, it can erode community pride, work ethic, and generational ambition. This is true. Work ethic? What? Why would I go to work when I got the government paying my rent, filling my belly? I'm good, you know, and they give me a little bit of money on the side. I can go get a car, whereby black men, they're the majority, mostly black men, can't do that because they're struggling. They're struggling big time, okay? And they can't go in and say, let me get some assistance from SNAP, okay? That's insane, okay? So I don't know. It's crazy, but like I said, those stats I gave you about whites being 35% and so forth, that's from 2023 USDA data, okay? So, by state, the ones who have the highest SNAP participation rates per capita is Mississippi, New Mexico, Louisiana, and West Virginia, okay? States with larger Black and Hispanic populations tend to show higher enrollment percentage. And like I said, Blacks are 13%, but they have a higher percentage than than the percentage of populations, and that's troublesome. That shows that even though 13% population, 25% receive SNAP. Okay, compared to 35% of whites that receive SNAP, but they are 55%. So it's less than the percentage of whites. It's less than the percentage of whites in America. So also SNAP's interplay with child support and welfare reform. So remember, these are court-ordered child support payments are counted as income when determining SNAP eligibility. And non-payment to or informal arrangements can disqualify families or reduce benefits. So Democrats really know how to stick it to the blacks, and we just love it. We just keep taking it off. Please, government, keep screwing us over. Thank you, Democrats. We enjoy getting screwed over. So mothers, if they want to receive some type of benefits, if they want to get help, they basically have to rat out the father. Hey, this is where he lives, this is his information, and now he has to pay child support in order for the mother to receive benefits. It's the craziest thing I ever heard. But that's how they're doing it. And it really backfired because they thought this was supposed to be some win-win win-win situation, and instead over $115 billion is owed to child support. That means from the time they did this welfare reform, Bill Clinton, Democrats, from the time they did welfare reform, it basically destroyed any chance for there to be, bonding between the father and his child. And instead, there's more debt. More men went to jail. More men are losing their jobs. A lot of men can't get licensed and so forth because of this. So when I see these mothers jumping around talking about SNAP and I can't get my SNAP and so forth, I just look at them like they're crazy because, you got your hand out for the government. You probably already ratted out the kid's father, so now he's right there struggling the way Democrats like to see men struggle like that. And, and you look, I don't know, ridiculous because you're basically telling us you can't get a job, you can't do anything, you need the government to take care of you. Make it make sense.
Don't care about nothing you got going on. They don't care your race, creed, or color. Everybody gets SNAP. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, they get it too. Everybody is benefiting from the federal government. Everybody works for the federal government. And these Democrats voted down a bill or whatever. They voted down the opportunity to pay federal workers and to pay SNAP benefits during this shutdown. They said no unless they get what they want. Do y'all know what they want? Y'all are being lied to about what these people want because they can't want it that bad. They can't want to feed y'all that bad if they're refusing to feed y'all. Y'all mean to tell me that they're going to refuse to feed y'all so they can feed y'all later? They're going to refuse to feed y'all now so they can feed y'all later? They're going to refuse to pay you now so they can pay you later? Come on, be for real. Be for real. It does not take a rocket scientist at this point to figure this out, to see what's happening. These people don't give a damn about any of us. And y'all go so hard to uphold their raggedy ass democracy. What is with this? Why are y'all so obsessed with upholding this system? Do you hate the system or love the system? You're too dependent on the system. You sit there and complain about the system while depending on the system and saying the system's not doing enough for you. The system ain't supposed to do nothing for you. You understand why it's been created the way it's been created. It's been created against us. It was never for us. Why are y'all trying to... I'm annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I'm not dependent on the goddamn government. I don't too much care that the government shut down. My life has not been affected at all by the government shutdown in ways that really matter. Like ain't no motion, none of my motion been stopped from no shutdown. Y'all motion getting stopped from the shutdown, and you still don't care enough to see what's happening. You're still letting these people manipulate you. I don't really got no skin in the game. I didn't vote. I don't got no skin in the game at this point, and I see what's going on. Who y'all on my nerves?
This is what the Democrats in the Senate are demanding to reopen the government. They want to give $200 billion in health benefits to illegal aliens and non-citizens, paid for by U.S. taxpayers. That is in their proposal. They want billions in wasteful programs to be returned to foreign countries. So we stop these things. They want to turn it all back on. They're demanding that we do all that to get the government open for hardworking Americans again. They want to give $500 million to left-leaning news organizations, and they want to cut $50 billion from rural hospitals. We will not do those things. And they know that very well.
My whole FYP is people complaining about the EBT not being sent out for November and people blaming Trump for that and blaming Republicans for that. Do y'all not pay attention to anything at all? This is not, for one, it's not Trump's fault. And for two, it's not Republicans' fault. They actually came up with plans to make sure that SNAP was sent out this month, but who voted it down for the 13th time today? The Democrats. They blocked it again for the 13th time today. I'm just tired of hearing that it's all Republicans and Trump's fault. It's not, guys. It's not. It's not. I don't know what to tell you. It's not. Do some research. This is all plan of the Democrats, as per usual. I can guarantee this is some kind of plot for them to be like, oh, see what Trump did? He shut the government down and all these families suffered for all the holiday season, and Thanksgivings were ruined and Christmases were ruined. It's part of the plan. That's all it is. It's all part of the plan to make Trump look bad.
Well, Democrats are lying again, this time about SNAP benefits, and it's a crisis that they created. Here are the facts. SNAP benefits will stop in a few days, but not because Republicans shut down the government or because they're refusing to authorize emergency benefits. It's because Democrats keep voting against reopening the government. There's a clean continuing resolution sitting there right now that would fully fund SNAP and every other essential program. Republicans have passed it 13 times. Democrats have voted no 13 times. Now they're pretending this emergency fund can magically be used to pay SNAP benefits, but it can't. The law only allows that fund to be used to supplement existing appropriations when there's a shortfall, not when there's no budget at all because Democrats refuse to pass one. Even the USDA said in writing that contingency funds can't be legally used during a shutdown. Democrats know this. They're lying about it anyway, the same way they lie about Republicans controlling all branches of government. You still need 60 votes in the Senate, and everybody knows it, and nobody is buying the baloney. They know it, they just don't care. Because chaos is leverage, they said it themselves, and they're using it to pressure you to make you suffer so they can push their agenda that nobody voted for. So let me ask you, do Democrats ever tell the truth about anything? And who do you think is responsible for this shutdown? Let me know in comments.
So let me talk about why this is important, okay? Or why this matters, okay? Whites make up 58% of the U.S. population, yet they account for 35.4% of SNAP enrollment. Blacks make up 13.6% of the population, but 25.7% enrolled in SNAP. So what does that mean? That means that Black Americans are nearly twice as likely to be on SNAP compared to than whites, okay? And the reason why this is so important, remember earlier I talked about Bill Clinton, Democrats, I want to say Republicans back then played a role in the welfare reform, which made mothers have to basically put the fathers on child support instead of working, like trying to build a future for their children. They were forced to put them on child support. And what this reveals is that welfare and child support enforcement often penalizes Black fathers and families, pushing them deeper into poverty while denying access to stabilizing resources. So, because of this, and I'm guilty of it also, and so this is why I speak about it. When mothers basically go, and most mothers do it because they're angry, because things didn't work out well, or so forth. When they go and they put the father on child support, what happens is that the father then holds some form of resentment towards the mother. The mother then uses the child to really hurt the father through child support and visitations and so forth. The father then steps away, wants no part of that bonding moment because he feels hurt and used or by the government and so forth. And it continues. And then if that mother has a son, he goes through the same problem. You'll always notice that the mother take the father to child support, but when their child, their son, is going through it, it is a different story. That's when they want to speak about an unfair system. It never fails. I watch these mothers get up here and say, "Oh, it's so unfair," but you didn't think about that when you wanted to put that the father of your child on child support. So, which here it talks about generational impact. So these disparities aren't new. They're the result of decades of redlining, mass incarceration, and exclusion from, I guess, wealth building opportunities. I don't buy that for now. I think that we have those opportunities. Back then, yes, we were excluded. I still want to not really go with that because during Jim Crow, we did have a female that became a millionaire. She was Black. And then also Blacks were able to create so many things like schools and banks, schools, banks, hotels, things like that. So I don't buy that about the wealth building opportunities. I think we've always had it. We just allowed at a certain point in our life to let the government dictate how we should think and feel. And that's why this matters to me the most. It's very important that I talk about this because as we continue, more men, especially men of color, Black and brown, are struggling to get a foot because of certain things. Like we talk about criminal justice reform, but Trump really invested his time and energy in that. But nobody's investing their time and energy in child support laws. And with SNAP, that's one of the problems. This where that welfare reform really hurt people of color. So when November 1st comes, I'm sorry, but I'm probably not. I feel bad for the children because these mothers, they sit back and they allow the government to take care of them and to dictate how they should think and feel and how they should raise their child. And I just can't go for that. Okay, I just can't. And so I do hope that sometime in the future things could be different. I think Democrats will bend the knee, and then the shutdown will end, and then you'll see these mothers shopping, with 2 carts, and they be filling it up while I got to sit here and worry about $300 in the supermarket, and I only get 7 things, 8 things, maybe 10, who knows? But yeah, we'll see how things go. But like I said, when it comes to SNAP, I'm not a big fan. I'm sorry. Anyway, you guys have a great day. and I will be talking to you soon. Peace.